Testing. Testing. I think it's working. Sorry guys, I switched to Zoom recording. Maybe I'm just gonna use this instead of QuickTime for the long haul. Maybe because it's better. We'll see. All right. So today, this is a long one. It's also really boring because I'm like actually gonna read material and then relay it back to you. It also might take about an hour to 2 hours to do. But when you do it, you're gonna start activating higher magic, like angelic consciousness. Okay. Talking about angels. Today I watched a master class. I started to fill up my queue again. And I realized I took the last couple months off because it was like my summer vacation. So almost 90% of my schedule was like cut down into summer vacay, summer job hours. But now I'm back to work, back to school, back to like schedule, type A schedule, you know, like normal. And I'm back to masterclass. And I fill up with all the new people. And RuPaul stood out. Now, RuPaul's been sitting in my queue for Netflix for like years. Back when I worked at Fender, one of the HR people, she was like, I am obsessed with RuPaul's Drag Race. She was younger than me. She was like Midwest, kind of like Midwest farm girl type. And she's obsessed with RuPaul's Drag Race. I can't even speak. Not obsessed. That was the only thing she wanted to watch. Bizarre. It's been sitting in my Netflix queue for years because you know what? All that glitz and glam just ain't cutting it for me. But somehow I knew that RuPaul has a deep wisdom for me and love. So finally on the masterclass, I click play and I start bawling. I'm bawling because here is a man, drag, but in man, you know, who loves. And there was nothing in me that wanted to spew any negativity at him at all. Love. Like, this man is on his way to Netzach. He's a blue person in disguise. A Navi, an old, wise soul. And it's beautiful. There's like nothing wrong. Nothing. The only thing wrong is he's not in Netzach yet. But he's well on his way. And like pure love came from my heart and my soul. There's nothing in me that wanted to like him at all. That says everything. Everything. So, on the basis of that, RuPaul was talking about drag and constructs. I keep telling you guys, it's not about this. Black, white, male, female. It's not about this at all. It's about what's inside. Huge. Blue person on the inside. Old, wise Pleiadian. Master. I can see. It's there. RuPaul was talking about drag. And from the moment we're born naked. And everything else beyond that is drag. It's just drag. It's just a construct. Everything. This, my haircut, my pearl necklace, everything. It's a facade. It's how I choose for you guys to see me. The words I say, what I communicate, the words that I say that are controversial. Everything is a deliberate framing of how I choose you guys to perceive me. Everything. This should go very well hand in hand with the nature teaching. Because I do not disclose my inner nature. Sometimes I do. I am choosing to reveal what I show you guys. And the more you think you see, the less you do. You should have learned that lesson and now you see me. On that note, so I'm using Zoom for this Enochian magic class. This is a really clear point of Enochian magic, by the way. Now this is Enochian magic. Is what you guys think you see is not the truth of the nature behind it. This should be a foreshadowing. And Pan's Labyrinth should be one of the movies at the top of the playlist. But Pan, you don't know what Pan is. You don't know if Pan's a good guy or a not good guy, or just neutral. Just a vehicle. I kind of liked how once the TV show depicted Pan as the bad guy, the shadow, because forever Pan was exalted in like the fairy. If Babaji came through, because Babaji is Pan to me. Babaji came through, started gridding my home with immortality teachings. Because here I am in Netzach, starting to get the grids for immortality. Starting, working towards it. But he layered it with the word immorality. Why? What? Immorality teachings? And he goes, think about it. What would you do if you knew you could get away with anything and everything? And my mind was blown. Because it's only from that space of being immortal that you could ever learn the difference between what is moral or immoral. Mind blown, because everything else is just survival. Everything. For the first place in Netzach, you can go, oh yeah, it's not okay to say that because that's immoral. And if I can get away with anything, I shouldn't do that, or I should do this. Yeah, I can pick on my twin because he's my twin. That's not immoral. That's my job. But in the Matrix world, that might be seen as ick. From a space of immortality, the game shifts. And what was not true in Hode may be very valid in Netzach. And I want you to understand that when we start doing Enochian magic. I am a beginner. We're all starting at the same place unless you guys are masters. But believe me, until you have 20,000 hours of meditation, you're not an Enochian master. You're not even an Enochian novice. Not masters. Until you're having dreams with the Enochian angels shooting lightning at you, going Enochian magic. You're not an Enochian master. That was just my initiation to be able to teach it a little bit. So we'll begin with the Rose teachings. I know some of you guys think you know everything, but you don't. Okay. So we're going to go to, oh, the nice part about Zoom is that I get to do screen sharing. So I can like draw on my screen and show you guys everything. Finally. I don't know why I haven't been doing it like this. So let me get my things set up. Here's my overused Wacom tablet. You know why it's overused? Me making cheap mistakes. Making cheap moves. Not tuning into the deeper source vibrations. All right. Share screen. Desktop. Share. Let's do it like this. You are screen sharing. I'm wondering if this is actually going to be what's recorded. I'm hoping so. Yes, here is my beautiful backdrop. I want to show you something that Inga sent me. How do I hide this? There we go. It's just going to distract me. Okay. These diagrams show the paths traced by Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn as seen from Earth. The pansy, the rose, the peony, the tulip, And this is the only one that doesn't quite make sense. It's the lily. So the Saturn is attributed to Bina, and it's going to be the lily. And this is the tulip for Hesed. Mars is the peony. Super many layers. And then Venus is the rose. And then if you think about it, this is the white rose of York also coming through the death card right above Netzach. So it's kind of fascinating to see that the Kabbalah is much deeper embedded in our psyche and in nature than we could ever fathom. And it shows. All right. So the rose is the flower for Venus. We will be working with this, the rosy cross. If any of you guys have done any magic surrounding this, it's quite a powerful totem. Out of the 30 papers I chose to save and bring across the world with me and have had in my portfolio for, I don't know, a few years, the Rosy Cross, I've had 5 of them in my portfolio, my binder. 5 pages with rosy crosses. And I never knew why. It was always something very deep to me and profound. So we're going to read a little bit on the Rosy Cross. Now, this is out of Israel Regardie's Golden Dawn book. It's actually the black version with the golden text that says the Golden Dawn. And we're on page 392. If you have this book, you can read with us. Maybe I'll post a screenshot of these pages, who knows? The complete symbol of the rose cross. This symbol is to be worn suspended from a yellow collarette of silk. The motto of owner placed on the reverse side with a white sash, and is for general use in magical working, to be worn at all meetings of adepts. So basically, he is saying you should be wearing this at all times during magic. Much less like the workings of the Enochian ring that should be worn during ceremony or practice. It is to be made by each adept alone and consecrated by himself and never touched by any other person, and wrapped in white silk or linen when not in use. It is a complete synthesis of the masculine, positive, or rainbow scale of color attributions, which is called the scale of the king, like the king's scale. The 4 ends of the cross belong to the 4 elements and are colored accordingly. So he's talking about this, 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 and this, right? The white portion belongs to the Holy Spirit and the planets. You can see that here in the astrological signs and attributions. We have Luna, Mercury, Mars, Saturn, Jupiter, Venus. Okay. The 22 petals of the rose refer to the 22 paths. So we will cover the Hebrew alphabet as we do the paths. But today we are going to shift the Hebrew alphabet and replace it with the Enochian alphabet. And then we are going to do mandala with the Enochian alphabet in our rosy cross. Okay, I will continue reading. It is the cross in Tiferet. So Tiferet being the center of the tree, but also attributed here. The receptacle and the center of the forces of the Sephiroth and the paths. The extreme center of the rose is white. If you see the little white, there's a white sphere here. The reflected spiritual brightness of Keter. Bearing upon it the red rose of 5 petals. And the golden cross of 6 squares. You wonder how 6 squares, 1, 2, 3. And then we have a 4th square right here. Another square here. And then another square there. 4 green rays issuant around the angles of the cross. 1, 2, 3, 4. From which the second order takes its name. They are the symbols of the receiving force. So this is the symbol of the receiving force. Like it's receiving your prayer. Upon the white portion of the symbol below the rose is placed the hexagram with the planets in order, which is the key of the supreme ritual of the hexagram. Around the pentagrams, which are placed one upon each elemental colored arm, pentagrams, are drawn the symbols of the spirit and the 4 elements in the order which is the key to the supreme ritual of the pentagram. Upon each of the fluoridated ends of the cross are arranged 3 alchemical principles, but in a different order for each element, and as showing their operation therein. So if we want to Google that, this is how you start learning things if you've never done it. So we go alchemical elements. Mercury, salt, sulfur. So it would go salt, sulfur, mercury. Sulfur, salt, mercury. Sulfur, mercury, salt. Sorry. I've lost my JoJo. And then we have the pentagrams. Earth, water. I believe this would be air, and that's fire. And then here's spirit. This is drawn in a weird way. Let's check that, just making sure. Pentagram elements. See, and then it says that. And then we go air. So that's the symbol for air. That is a symbol of water. And this is the symbol of fire. Great. I've never learned that before. Forgive me for my noviceness. All right. The utmost arm of the cross allotted to the air is of the yellow color of Tiferet. There we go. You can see Tiferet in all its glory. In it, the flowing, philosophical, mercurial name is chief, and without hindrance to its mobility. Hence the ever-moving nature of air. Its sulfurous side is drawn from the part of fire. That's the sulfurous side. So this is the path of fire. This is the air. Where its luminous and electrical qualities. Its saline side is from the water, whence result clouds and rain from the action of the solar forces. The lowest arm of the cross is allotted to earth, is of the 4 colors of Malkuth. So we have the black, the russet, the citrine, and the olive. The earth being of the nature of container and receiver of other influences. The citrine answers to its airy part. The olive to the watery, the russet to the fire, and the black to the lowest part, earth. Here is also the mercurial part, chief. So maybe when they say it's in the center, they say that this is the chief connection. But hindered by the compound nature, whence its faculty becomes germinative rather than mobile. When the sulfur and the salt are respectively from the sides of water and fire. So here they are reversed, which almost neutralize their natural operation and bring about the fixedness and immobility of earth. So here is where they are fluid and in their natural mobile state, and here is where they are now fixed and hardened. The extremity allotted to fire is of the scarlet color of Gabbera. And in it, the sulfurous name is chief. Sulfur, chief. Sulfur, fire. As exemplified in the salt water of the ocean. To which all, oh, I'm sorry. I just started reading another paragraph. The extremity allotted to fire is of the scarlet color of Gabbera, and in it the sulfurous nature is chief, whence its powers of heat and burning. The salt is from the side of earth. Okay. Whence the necessity for a constant substantial pabulum whereon to act. I need to look up that word. Bland or insipid intellectual fare. Okay. The salt is from the side of earth whence the necessity for a constant substantial pabulon whereon to act, and the mercury is from the side of air. Whence the leaping lambent motion of flame, especially when acted upon by wind. This class is lame. I'm sorry. We have to read this and decode it. You're going to have to learn this someday. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make sure this handout is available for you guys to read. The extremity allotted to water is of the blue color of Hesed. And in it the saline side is chief, as exemplified in the salt water of the ocean, to which all waters go, and from whence it is derived from the nature of always preserving the horizontal line. The mercurial part is from earth, whence the weight and force of it is flux and reflux. The sulfuric part is from the air, whence it affects the waves and storms. So that the disposition of these three principles forms the key of their alchemic operation in the elements. The white rays issuing from behind the rose at the inner angles between the arms are the rays of divine light, issuing and coruscating from the reflected light of Keter in its center. We're talking about these rays. The letters and symbols on them refer to the analysis of the keyword of an adeptus minor. INRI, I-N, or how does it go? I-N, how does it go? INRI. This way? I-N-R-I, by which the operating of the vault is accomplished. The 12 letters of the 12 petals follow the order of the signs of the zodiac. Uppermost is He, the letter of Aries, followed by Vow, Zane, Chet. Let me show you guys. He, right here, He. Then it goes Vow, Zane, Chet, Tet, Yod, while the letter of Libra, which is Lamed, is lowermost. Ascending, so these are the descending. Ascending are Noon. I believe that's Noon. Yeah. It's hard to read these letters. It's all blurry. Noon, Samek, Ayin, Zadi, and Kaf. There's Kaf. Cough. I learned a different definition for cough. Wasn't ear when I did it, I don't think. Kind of like back of the head. All right. Oh, here's cough, palm. And then there's this cough. It's been a while since I've done this. Forgive me. This is where I'm going to look like a fool, you guys, and that's acceptable. The 7 double letters of the middle row are allotted to the planets in order of their exaltations. The planets being wanderers, the stars are fixed with respect to Earth. These letters are Pe, Resh, Bet, with Daleth over Libra, followed by Gimel, Kaf, and Tau. Daleth. Where's Daleth here? Door. I remember that one because that is attributed to the Empress Path. Gimel. All right. The 3 mother letters are allotted to the elements and are so arranged that the petal of air should be beneath the arm of the cross allotted with air. While those of fire and water are counterchanged sides, so that the forces of the arms of the cross should not too much override the planetary and zodiacal forces in the rows, which might otherwise be the case where the petal of fire were placed on the same side as the arm of fire, and that of the water on the side of water. So what I believe he's saying is that they're reversed. We have Shin on this side for fire. We have, what's this one? Come on. Mem, which is for water. So we have Aleph here. And they are reversed. The back of the cross bears the inscriptions in Latin. The Master Jesus, God the Man, between 4 Maltese crosses represents the 4 pyramids of the elements opened out. This is placed at the uppermost part, because therein is affirmed a descent of divine force into Tiferet, which is the central point between supernals and inferiors. But at the lowest part is written the motto, Zelatur Adeptus Minor, because therein is the affirmation of the elevation of the human into the divine. But this is impossible without the assistance of the divine spirit from Keter. Whence the space above Malkuth is white upon the frontal aspect of the cross, white being the symbol of the spiritual rescued from the material. In the center is written in Latin between the symbols of the alchemical principles, of which the outermost is sulfur, the purgatorial of fire is suffering and self-sacrifice. Blessed be the Lord our God, who hath given us the symbol signum, and this is a word of 6 letters, thus representing the 6 creative periods in the universe. The cross may be cut out of cardboard and colored portions may be painted or formed on by pasting on portions of colored papers of the required size and shape. The colors must be correct, clear, and brilliant. If they are not, the symbol is useless either as a symbol or insignium. If this occurs, the whole should be destroyed, for faculty, colors, or shapes in divine symbols are a degradation of divine things and are practical blasphemy, because it is substituting the evil and disorderly for the good. Yes. Thank God. Because this holy symbol of the divine has done nothing for environmental rescue, for human rights, nothing. There is no power in this symbol at all. And the fact that an entire book dedicated a chapter to it is degradate, like a tree was cut down to print this book to make another white man rich. And it's fucking boring. There is no God in it. When you can tell me one person who has had a tumor popped off of them because, and their cancer has miraculously disappeared because of the appearance of this symbol. So we are going to desecrate it with Enochian magic and bring actual magic to it, because we are the magic that is brought to it. You can see my face now. Stop share. Thank fucking God. Because I'm getting real upset. Really upset. First, we need to know the rules before we break the rules. It's like kind of being like Picasso, thinking you're some classically trained artist without having learned the Michelangelo techniques, and then thinking you're some fucking genius because you destroyed it. First, we need to understand what it is and what it didn't do at all before we can just take from it and then degrade it. By the way, do you see how big this book is? I mean, everybody throughout history, like there's so much knowledge in this book, but how much wisdom is in it? What? The whales are still trapped in a box. Hogwarts is not created. And I would value what RuPaul said over what anything in this book. That's the difference between soul and rhetoric. And Netzach can see through all of it. Okay. The complete symbol. Here is where he continues. Notes on the rose cross. It is unfortunate that I have not been able to reproduce the symbol in its colors as painted by the Adeptus Minor. Black and white give no indication of the beauty and impressive quality to which the symbol possesses. That's beauty? I think James Cameron kind of takes the cake on understanding what beauty is. Maybe the creators of Maleficent too. Like beauty. The reader should therefore make one for himself and color it according to these directions. Now, understand this. There is an internal inherent beauty at looking at the traditions and the classical teachings from others and following them and learning and loving them. There is an inherent beauty, but there is definitely a beauty in going, fuck you guys for thinking that that is more powerful than my soul. For my life experiences. Is that symbol more important than my human sacrifice? Is it? That symbol will be around through the ages, but so will my soul. The upper arm above the rose, attributed to the element of air, is painted in bright yellow. Various lacquer enamels are now available, the use of which produces just the right kind of brilliance required for these magical symbols and flashing tablets. Over the yellow should be painted the symbols shown in its direct complement, pale mauve. If I really need to continue, I will, but it continues as how to make it look prettier. Now, you want to tell Baba G that this symbol is more important and divine than him? But also remember this. There's this chapter in the Yogananda book where Yogananda refuses to worship a rock. A rock. He goes, that thing has no power. That thing is not sacred. That thing is nothing. And then Yogananda was then punished. Punished. And I can't help but think that one, Yogananda didn't get into Netzach yet. Two, that rock, not worshiping the rock, was like Mother Earth punishing him and not a man-made fucking symbol. So you got to look at things on the tree and contextualize them accordingly, because maybe that rock was more valuable than Yogananda. And maybe this symbol is just a piece of shit. Maybe. Maybe not. The point is that nature is gonna oversee this. This is man-made. And Netzach rules over everything that's man-made. It will all be destroyed. That's the whole teaching of Netzach. If you're going to tell me this is more important than worshiping an actual red rose in a garden, then you've got a problem. On that, here's another tree I cut down to make Aleister Crowley more famous. Here's them Enochian magic. We're going to start with the 9th key. A mighty guard of fire with 2-edged swords flaming, which have 8 vials of wrath for 2 times and a half, whose wings are of the wormwood and of the marrow of salt, have set their feet in the west, and are measured with their 9996 ministers. I'm sorry, the 9th key. I knew this was wrong. Sorry, it's the 8th key. Like, I didn't read this one correctly. We're gonna do the 25th call, and we're gonna do the 8th key. No, that one's the key of Loki. Wow. Am I making my point about how ridiculous this stuff is? Oh, no. If you do it right, you're going to get 5 inches of like fairy light thrown at you. But keep cutting down a tree to learn these lessons. Which key was I supposed to do? I swore I like set this up. Man, I feel like I'm setting myself up to fail for a purpose. Where is it? It wasn't the 8th key. Was it the 4th key? Was it the 5th key? It's one where they talk about the Rosy Cross. Crap. Pausing. I found it. You know how I found it? I remembered that it was in the bottom insignia where we go, the princess of the echoing hills, the rose of the palace of earth. Okay, the 5th key. Because it's earth of earth. So this is going to get us real grounded real fast. The mighty sounds have entered into the 3rd angle and are become as olives in the olive mount. That's right. I can't even talk right now. Man, I'm just filled with so much irreverence. Sorry. You know what happens? Is that I read a chapter, I read a book, and the dragons come in and teach me the real lessons. That's what happens. I go, that's shit. Thanks for cutting down another tree. The fifth key. The mighty sounds have entered into the third angle and are become as olives in the olive mount, looking with gladness upon the earth and dwelling in the brightness of the heavens as continual comforters. Unto whom I fastened 19 pillars of gladness and gave them vessels to water the earth with her creatures. And they are the brothers of the first and second, and the beginning of their own seats, which are garnished with 69,636 ever burning lamps, whose numbers are the first, the ends, and the contents of time. Therefore come ye, and obey your creation. Visit us in peace and comfort. Conclude us, receive of your mysteries, for why? Our Lord and Master is the All One. God, this shit is boring. Therefore come ye and obey your creation. I think that's the only thing that needs to be said. You created your reality. Now you need to obey it. So I have the unto whom I fastened 19 pillars of gladness. All I think of that is the DNA strands I send into the heavens, anchoring in the new little pearls, fucking olives, whatever they are, popping through like lifelines of intelligence. And gave them vessels to water the earth with her creatures, like Jack and the Beanstalk with lifelines. Mother Andromeda really wants to come through and go, that's enough. This is nothing. The fifth key, but in Enochian. Safe, Zodemi, Duibi, Odnoasa, Tekanis, Adora. I cannot do this until somebody's going to sit here and chant to me and do this with me in real life. I'm not going to even try. I'll probably just crucify it. I think that's the most eloquent component of all of it. The point is this. We have the 25th key still. The 25th cry. What was it? What you guys create as masters. Is there even Netzach in this book? I feel Malkuth. I feel the darkness and the grounding. Or am I just a demon? cry of the 13th. The 25th cry is the... I'm wondering, everybody has this knowledge, why they have done nothing really deep of service with it. Nobody is wanting to save the whales. The planet's still dying. There's 5 minutes left of the ocean life. The corals are basically gone. And people are talking as if they have the almighty powerful connection to God. And I have to regrid an entire city with my brain just to feel like I can breathe. I have another humbling story. This is one of my favorites. I think it came from Wayne Dyer. It was about some dumb divine river people. The lessons in Korah too, by the way. Dumb river people, uneducated, uneloquent. And these schooled hypocrites, schooled in everything. They're versed in everything, educated to the T, come and start preaching to these river people. They're preaching to them. This. These river people are like, yeah, I'll read this book. We're just lowly, river people. These river people were so humble. They just took it, like me buying Enochian Magick books and all the Golden Dawn knowledge and everything else. So they take it and they learn more. And those preachy zealots leave. They leave these river people. They leave them alone. And the river people follow them. But they follow them by walking on water. Those people, the zealots, left on a boat. And the river people could walk on the water behind the boat. And the zealots' mouths fucking dropped. We didn't need to teach you guys. I'm so sorry. You guys know everything already and are connected to everything that we're not. This is your journey. Your journey is to be a river person and to continue to take and digest this shit forever. And then move forward and do deeper miracles than anyone. And make other people's jaws drop. Now, if any of you guys are like profound cancer healers or like teleporters, please let me know. Go, you're a dumbass. We've been doing this for 30 years. We have a school already built. I know of one, and then I know of stars. Two schools on teleportation. I cannot endorse a school that I have not personally researched. So I will not bring it up nor talk about it, because I do not want to endorse some guy that I don't like nor trust. The cry of the 25th ether, which is called Viti. This is like a meditation, by the way. So you might want to close your eyes and receive. This one's actually quite beautiful. There is nothing in the stone but the pale gold of the rosy cross. Now there comes an angel with bright wings. That is the angel of the 25th air. And all the air is a dark olive about him, like an alexandrite stone, or think labradorite, netzach. He bears a pitcher or amphora. And now there comes another angel upon a white horse. And yet again, another angel upon a black bull. And now there comes a lion and swallows the two latter angels up. The first angel goes to the lion and closes his mouth. And behind them are arrayed a great company of angels with silver spears like a forest. And the angel says, "Blow, all ye trumpets, for I will loose my hands from the mouth of the lion, and his roar shall enkindle the worlds." And then the trumpets blow, and the wind rises and whistles terribly. It is a blue wind with silver specks, and it blows through the whole aether. But through it, one perceives the lion, which has become as a raging flame. And he roareth in an unknown tongue. But this is the interpretation thereof. Let the stars be burnt up in the fire of my nostrils. Let all the gods and the archangels and the angels and the spirits that are on the earth and above the earth and below the earth, that are in all the heavens and in all the hells, let them be as motes dancing in the beam of mine eye. I am he that swalloweth up death and victory. I have slain the crowned goat and drunk up the great sea. Like the ash of the dried leaves, and the worlds are blown before me. Thou hast passed by me, and thou hast not known me. Woe unto thee, that I have not devoured thee altogether. On my head is the crown. 419 rays, far darting. And my body is the body of the snake. And my soul is the soul of the crowned child. Through an angel in white robes. On my head is the crown. And my body is the body of the snake. Oh my God, what am I doing with my fucking life? However beautiful and poetic this shit is. I find more God picking up litter. It's the only time I don't hate my fucking life. Mind blown. I didn't pick up litter today. I went on a run instead. This class is fucking stupid. And I hate it. Every single thing that I can teach you is already out there. Every single thing. I am silent because I understand. For I am naked. I have been attacking all of my own teachings. Because you guys attack all of my teachings. And then the minute I succumb to this shit. Go pick up litter. Kaliran out. No, we have to do the Enochian rose. Really? Really? We have to do the Enochian rose just to desecrate it and make it creative? Does anyone still want to? All right. If you guys can handle me at this point, thank God. You must just like me. All right, share screen. We're gonna go to desktop. I wish I could play music, but you know what's gonna happen if I do? YouTube's gonna take me out. Like they always do. All right, let's get this rosy cross up and running. Here we go. So I have a unique thing about files and doing artwork. It's my thing. I start each new document up with the golden ratio, whether it's horizontal or vertical. And that way, I feel like no matter what I create, it's a holy temple. It brings me joy just to do it like that. And I feel like I'm with Mommy Earth at that space. We look at the golden ratio compared to this rosy cross, it doesn't quite make the cut, does it? If you thought something was so holy, why wouldn't you put it in some kind of holy algorithm? I don't know. Maybe because it's not that holy. So what I'm going to do is going to outline. I'm going to make this cross as big as possible. And I'm going to give you guys the results. You guys can see me have an actual breakdown. So I hate this shit. What I really wanted to show you guys was this, because I knew that this was going to be the teaching no matter what. We have shin here, which translates to SH. Now, it doesn't go clockwise. In Hebrew, Jewish, right? Hebrew is read from left to right and then down to up, right? So it goes shin, SH, sh. And we have aleph, which is A. We have meh, or mem, I'm sorry, mem. It should just be meh. M. I'm so glad that Israel regarding goes to desecrate this is an act of extreme heresy, blasphemy. The entire thing spells sham. This thing is a fucking sham. These are the primary mother letters of the Rosy Cross. And it spells sham. And you've really got to understand why. Why we give power to things it's cray cray. So we're going to start off with some of this. I think we'll do black or gray, white. Let's do some black. I'm going to black letter this. I'm going to draw this out. Come on. This is going to get in my way there. There. Get out of the way there. So we're just going to draw this, the rose petals for each of the letters that's going to go in. Now, for the Enochian magic, there are only 21. So what we're going to do is put a star, like starlight. And I believe we're going to put it in Mem. This is very much like, how dare I desecrate this holy, this holy bizarro temple and create something new with it. You know what Hathor is laughing at is the crappy lines. That's what she's coming in and ridiculing me that the lines aren't straight enough. It doesn't look perfect enough yet. You guys don't understand Hathor. She is as type A as they get. You think she's gonna not be on your side, but what she's really gonna do is tell you to do it better and more type A. And it's gonna be crazy in a good way. So like this line would make her go crazy. She'll be a master of scheduling. Master of schedule. She'll be a master of design. You guys don't even get it. Like, she'll understand the difference between the points. It's like the most highly regarded graphic designers on the planet. And then she'll attribute it to nature. Most of the time I'll pick up litter and she'll micromanage me and make me do more litter. And she goes, you know, if you knew what I knew, you would do way more. You would pick up way more litter. You would care way more. Be more meticulous. Oops. All right. See, it doesn't look that great, does it? Maybe I can clean it up a little bit. This is under Kyle's natural brushes. This is the natural eraser. I love Photoshop, you guys. Love. But there's an issue with Photoshop because, one, it's Adobe and they're greedy as fuck. But also, I've been using Photoshop since I was in art school like 20 years ago. So I have like my 10,000 plus hours in Photoshop and still doing Udemy classes in Photoshop. So like, it's in constant learning. And if you ever think you understand Photoshop and then you like learn 10 new tricks that you never knew existed, you go, I didn't know Photoshop at all. I'm finally getting to the point where I'm painting in Photoshop and like uploading different paint brushes because I used to be like a photo editor. Okay, that looks all right. Next we have the Enochian alphabet. But really what I want to do is put in the English alphabet as a placeholder so I know where to put the Enochian alphabet. And if you guys want to screenshot this, you can go ahead. So you have A, I'm going to do this the right way up. SH, M. All right. Bet. Gimel, Dalet, Pay. This is why Charlie says I have no decency, because I should have started from scratch so I could create my own thing and then not put a star in it. Samek. So we'll do that. Where's Samek? Ayin. Zadi. This is TZ. Or X. And then cough. Q. All right, that's my Q. So I'm gonna pause right now to keep you guys from hating me while I redesign this. I have a friend in LA, teacher, friend, person, right? He goes, the people who want to work with you, the clients, the students, they're not coming to you because of the stuff you're teaching. They come to you because of you. They're attracted to you. She was cool. She was a dom and rad. All right. Let's share the screen. Screen share, desktop. There we go. Then let's cover this in white, light gray. There we go. It's a little messy. That's what happens. You desecrate the Holy Cross. This is an Einstein teaching. If it hasn't worked for millennia, and we're attached to it, it's probably pretty crazy to keep on trying to use it, right? So maybe it's time that we come up with something else. And then Mother Andromeda likes to tell me, maybe I should just redraw the whole fairy star. Maybe I'm gonna paint it red. We'll put a white fairy star in the center of it. Yeah, look at that. Those look nice. This looks like Netzach now. Nobody knows how to draw a fairy star. Well, that's a problem. Okay. Some of you are like, oh, but I really like the red. What we can do is do a lighter red. Let's see if this looks good. Used to have a shortcut on my Wacom tablet. The brush size and disappeared. Nah. We'll see. Just this. It's the red lightning coming through. All right. So we're gonna do these two reds. We're gonna fill this up. Should just do a short, quick version. This is the quick version. Ah, somebody's like, do the magic wand. There we go. Oh, this is the wrong layer. There we go. Okay. That is kind of the first red. All right. And then we have the secondary red, which is going to be the letters. Yeah, there we go. So, Enochian magic, the Enochian alphabet looks like this. Da, 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 da. Pablum. I'm just gonna drag and drop it. Leave that out of the way. Like how screenshots take forever to just show up. There we go. Okay. We're gonna do this again. But we're now gonna translate it to the Enochian alphabet. And Mother Andromeda wanted to say, if you guys shift your magics to this one, she'll bless it. And so will Baba G. I'll put actually more light into it and fuel it to work. All right, so let's start with K. Looks like this. Looks like this. Interesting. M. Wonder if I can do the calligraphy without crucifying it. So that TH ends up becoming that F. That's CG. This is just one interesting looking J. Every time I see the word J, it's like justice. You know what J is? It's like hook into earth. when you guys start having really good root chakras and like start understanding things, like that's when the real miracles can happen. Your root chakra is not dependent on your race or your genetics, by the way. Some we're used to be more naturally inclined to be root chakra oriented, but now I'm starting to see a bunch of white girls have cleaner root chakras than anybody, and that is interesting. It's about intention. Caroline Robbins, she was very root chakra oriented. Melissa Elza, very root chakra oriented. I am very root chakra oriented. The Tara is there. I got Monica Potter's, look at her root chakra. Not like I've talked to her yet. Her root chakra is getting good. Like, when you have no root chakra, it means your thoughts have no roots. It means your magic has no roots. You guys have no identity. There's nothing left. So if you're like, your soul has no roots. So when you work on your root chakra, what you're really working on is your crown chakra. What you're doing is saying that Mother Earth is God. The root chakra rules survival. And in Netzach is eternity, which means you can survive for eternity. That's why Baba G's there. That's why Peter Pan is the ultimate male / female archetype of Netzach. Okay, this one's weird. ER. You guys do not get this. We're going to the ER. All right, look at this. This is now the Enochian rose. Looks great. Now, I will give you guys both, I'll erase that. I will give you guys both the English version and the voodoo Enochian version. what we do is, you know what I want to do? I want to cover up that white star. I want to see if something works nicer. So really what I did was not really cover it as much as indent it, right? It's still in the grid, like all good things that are in nature. All right. Switzerland. Yeah, you guys don't get it. Baba G showing me how to become Switzerland. Because once you're a nutsock, you must let go of worldly dramas for higher divine orders. All right. This is now looking like the Helm of Awe. You go now. Okay. Probably doesn't like this, so we will do it again. Do another layer of magic. What do we need, Charlie? Yeah, that feels right. The rose. All right. So now understand white is in the red. It's at the center of the core of the being. And all of these red petals or bricks are laid out before you. What you do is you start to spell out what you want to manifest. What I'm going to do is free my whales. We've done something. I have triangulated the missing equation. Now it's going in the center. I kept hearing the voice in my head. Man, this is a boring class. Some guy. Male. There will always be a male inside a female. There won't always be a female inside of a male. female is the inclusive. This is really keen to understand that Netzach will always understand Hod. Always. Women will always understand the men. The feminine will always understand the masculine. The masculine might not ever understand the feminine. Male. It's a very clear teaching. Get this stupid window out of the way. Very clear teaching. Now this really looks like the red lotus. Look at that. That's what we did with the A-L-E. That a rose can be a man. Rose can be male. Nature can be masculine. The man-made technologies will never, ever compare to what the feminine energy can create, the feminine nature. I have a story about red roses. It's very keen and it goes here. I walk through the gardens and I see these gorgeous red roses and I want to take a picture. They're transcendent. They're beyond almost anything I've ever imagined. And for the life of me, I cannot get a camera to get any of the red rose correct. There isn't a technology alive that doesn't fuck up the color and the shape and everything about the red rose. Billions of technology. I mean, billions of dollars in technology. Most advanced minds in the universe. And not one goddamn man or woman, whatever, engineer can create a technology to capture the actual beauty of the red rose. Never. You know what does it? Some good oil painters. Classically trained, usually. Not me, I wasn't classically trained on that kind of painting. $200,000 of art education, and I wasn't taught how to paint like a master in a painting major. That's for Otis. You know what they cared more about? Jerking off to their own masturbatory ideas of art in conceptualization. Throwing shit on the walls. So just so we understand, Mother Nature understands the difference between Michelangelo and a cheap concept artist that throws shit on walls and calls it art. Bizarre. All right. Some of you guys might want to do my planet. Maybe if some of you, or Earth is my planet, right? Maybe if you guys started owning the planet, you might take care of it. Let's do the white lightning. White's a little tough here, isn't it? You look at the contrast of white to red, man, it's like crazy. What could we do? Could we do pink? That's nicer. That's white with red blended in. What about collie pink? Is there a collie pink here? Ah, that's the stuff. This one. Blend the soul. All right. So first we go here. This also says lame. Better than sham. Nail. Lame. And Mela. Neat. Could also be LA, neat. All right. I'm doing free my whales. So go from F to the R to the E. We do this in Selena's Rose Magic class, by the way. But we just changed the alphabet. And I'm going to do another E. I'm going to go to my. Where's W? W is going to be up here with V. It's starting to look like a constellation. A. There it is. This is now my Free My Whales insignia. And then what you would do is take this off the cross, redraw it nicely, and then that's your angelic sigil. And that's your new Enochian magic sigil. And Mother Andromeda comes and gives you the fairy star. With the now patterns embedded. Babaji's blessing it. Don't worry, Babaji's blessings are also curses. And now you would retrace it. You could sew it onto something. You can put it in your book, like a sacred book. What I like to do here is every single time I use the same place twice, I draw a secondary circle around it. And then the third time I use it, I do a third circle, and now it starts to look like a crop circle. So that I understand that that's how many times that circle has been used. It's also indicative. E for energy. I need energy, 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 energy to make this manifest. Okay. So there it is. I'm going to redraw that in a nicer way. There. That's Enochian rose magic. All right. Maybe the class wasn't that lame after all. I'm just kidding on the book. I don't know. Maybe I'll just take a picture of it and then post it on the file, like on the website, on the NetZoc page, and you can download it if you want. That's it. No harm done. Collie Wren out.